It wasn't in a fancy restaurant, not under flashing lights or a camera's gaze. It happened in silence, in a moment that felt both ordinary and timeless. Joe Biden stood in the doorway of his Delaware home, holding a single white rose and a folded piece of paper. Jill Jacobs looked at him, confused but smiling, unaware that this was the moment that would change everything. Joe handed her the note with trembling hands. Inside, in his familiar handwriting, were the words that carried years of pain, love, and hope. Jill, you're my heart. Will you make it whole again? The world knew Joe Biden as a senator, a rising political figure, but that night he was just a man asking the woman who had healed his broken soul to walk through life with him. The scene was quiet, but it was more powerful than any grand proposal. Because this wasn't just about love, it was about survival, about finding light after unbearable darkness. Years before that night, Joe had lost everything. His wife Nylia and his baby daughter Naomi had died in a car accident just days before Christmas in 1972. His two young sons, Bo and Hunter, were badly injured. Joe spent nights in the hospital, reading bedtime stories to his boys while they lay in their hospital beds. His heart was shattered, his faith in life almost gone. Then came Jill. A young college student and part-time model, she was full of energy, warmth, and light, everything Joe thought he'd lost forever. Their first meeting wasn't planned. Joe's brother had set them up, believing that maybe, just maybe, Jill could bring back the smile Joe had buried under grief. Jill later said she didn't expect anything serious. Joe was older, already a public figure, and she had her own dreams. But something about his honesty, the way he looked at her, made her feel safe. Still, when Joe asked her to marry him, she said no. Not once but 5 times. She loved him deeply, but she wasn't ready to become a public figure, or a stepmother to 2 boys who had already lost their mother. She wanted to be sure that if she said yes, it would be forever. And then came that evening, the white rose, the handwritten note, the man who had waited patiently. That time, Jill didn't hesitate. She smiled, tears filling her eyes, and whispered, yes. It wasn't the White House yet, but that home in Delaware felt like one filled with love, laughter, and a promise to rebuild what life had broken. Years later, when Joe finally walked into the real White House as president, Jill was there beside him, the same woman who once read his love letter in a quiet room, unaware that she was saying yes not just to a man, but to a journey that would lead them to history. The secret White House proposal wasn't about luxury or power, it was about love that survived tragedy, faith that overcame fear, and 2 hearts that found home in each other long before they ever found the White House.
Whose inspiring story of politician would you like to hear next? Tell us in the comments below.